Hello, in this video we take a look at one of the most important but often misunderstood aspects of the CEFR, the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, namely mediation. When we think about language use, we often focus on the familiar skills, speaking, listening, reading and writing. But the 2020 companion volume of the CEFR introduces a more nuanced and realistic view of what people actually do with a language, especially in today's interconnected world. And that's where mediation comes in. What is it? At its core, mediation is about helping people understand, access, or engage with meaning, especially when they wouldn't be able to do so on their own. It's not just about translating or interpreting, although that can be part of it. It's about facilitating communication between people, simplifying information, or even resolving misunderstandings across linguistic or cultural divides. In short, mediation is what happens when you act as a bridge, helping others grasp a concept, an idea, or a message that they couldn't access without your help. The CEFR originally focused on language activities where the user is the agent, for example, writing an email or listening to a lecture. But mediation adds a layer. Now the learner isn't just using language for themselves, they're using language to help others. And that's a critical shift. Imagine you're in a meeting with two colleagues and one of them is struggling to understand what the other is saying. You step in and say, what she means is that we need to finish the report before Friday so that the data can be included in next month's analysis. That's mediation. You didn't add new information, you didn't take sides, you helped make meaning clearer for everyone. The CEFR 2020 companion volume breaks mediation down into three main categories, each with specific scales and descriptors. 1, mediating a text. This involves helping someone understand or interpret a written or spoken text. It can include summarizing or paraphrasing, translating or rewording, or explaining technical information in plain language. For example, explaining the results of a medical report to a patient in everyday terms. 2, mediating concepts. This is about helping people collaborate and work together to build understanding. It includes leading discussions, managing group work, integrating different viewpoints, and an example might be facilitating a brainstorming session by clarifying ideas, connecting suggestions, and keeping people on track. And 3, mediating communication. This is about bridging gaps between people, often across languages or cultures, and it includes clarifying misunderstandings, negotiating meaning, acting as an informal interpreter. And an example might be helping two people who speak different languages understand each other in a casual or social setting. How is it described in the CEFR? Well, each of these categories has its own set of scales and can-do descriptors, aligned with levels from A1 to C2. For example, at B1 level, a learner might be able to relay the main points of a clear, structured text on familiar subjects. At C1, they might be able to explain complex concepts clearly and adapt the level of detail and formality to suit the audience. These descriptors can be used in teaching, assessment, curriculum planning, and self-evaluation. Well, why does mediation matter? Well, mediation reflects real-life communication. In workplaces, classrooms, and communities, we constantly mediate. Parents explain school policies to other parents. Students summarize lectures for classmates. Employees adapt technical documents for customers. Volunteers interpret local customs for tourists. And these aren't extra skills. They're central to how we function in multilingual, multicultural societies. The CEFR acknowledges this and provides a framework for teaching and assessing mediation, just as we do with speaking or writing. Mediation connects deeply with plurilingual and pluricultural competence, another key theme in the updated CEFR. In other words, the CEFR now recognises that many people live and work in mixed language environments, and the communication often involves more than one language or culture. So a learner might draw on both English and their mother tongue to help someone understand a text. That's not cheating, that's plurilingual mediation in action. The new CEFR encourages us to value and develop these skills and not to ignore them. So how do we bring mediation into the classroom? Well, you can use tasks where students summarize, explain, or adapt information for different audiences. Set up role plays where students act as mediators between two speakers. Design collaborative tasks where students help each other make sense of a topic. Include real-world scenarios such as interpreting notices, rewriting job descriptions, or guiding a tourist. You're not just teaching grammar and vocabulary. You're helping learners become skilled communicators in real contexts. So to sum up, what is mediation in the CEFR? It's about helping others access or understand meaning. It includes mediating texts, concepts, and communication. It reflects real-life multilingual communication. It's now a core part of the CEFR with detailed scales and descriptors, and it belongs in the classroom, not as an add-on, but as a fundamental part of language learning. Mediation helps us not just to use language, but to help others use it also. And that's a skill worth teaching. Thank you very much.